Hey guys, a user on YouTube requested a video on how to defend against the Pride, the new Tier 6 Conqueror hull. And let me just say this up front, guys. I am in no way a player versus player expert. I'm not a base defense expert. I'm not a base hitting expert. But these are just some of the things that I see as options if you're going to attempt to defend your base against the new Pride. First thing that we've got to really do if we're going to defend against the Pride is we need to understand its weaknesses. If you see its native right here, its native defenses, there is no explosive defense, no radioactive defense, no corrosive defense, and no penetrative defense. The only defenses that it has natively, it's got 24,000 ballistic deflection and 6,000 concussive deflection, which is pretty good. It's got a defense handicap of 100, so no one can put layered panels 3 or a blade of armor 3 on it. That's not going to help them. It's got a tactical field resistance of 50% and a splash damage reduction of 33%. So right now, just its native defenses, here's its weaknesses. Okay, explosive, radioactive, corrosive, and penetrative. But there's a little bit more to this hull in the special abilities section that we need to go over. But one of the most common armor being used on this hull build is the radioactive plating 4. With 3 of these plates, you go from no radioactive defense up to 15,000 radioactive deflection. So this adds a lot of radioactive defense to this hull. So we can not completely scratch off radioactive as a weakness, but it takes a lot of damage to total up to 15,000. So that leaves explosive, corrosive, and penetrative. Now, here comes the special abilities section of the hull, and there is some confusion about this, so I'll try as best I can to explain it the way I understand it. Okay, the first thing we've got is the Prideful effect. The Prideful effect, if you'll notice down here, it's got this orange glowing profile of a lion's head, of a group of lions is a pride. That's the reason you get a lion head right here. If the boats are greater than 25 distance units apart, as long as no other friendly ships are in range, the boat gains offensive and defensive capabilities, only affects itself. So these are non-stacking abilities right here. Okay, as long as you keep the boats a distance of 25 distance units apart, it gains cold snap immune. It's a trigger. It 50% corrosive damage. It gains 55% combat speed and 80,000 explosive deflection, which basically almost makes it immune to any explosive type weapons that you may have in your base. I'm sure it'll chip away at it a little, but it's not going to do enough to stop it. But as long as these boats stay 25 distance units apart from it, not just from another Pride. Now it can be if you're using a Vendetta, if you're using any other ship, it has to stay at least 25 distance units apart. Okay, so you don't lose this Prideful effect. The special abilities at the bottom says, now these are stacking abilities based on the number of hulls you have in your fleet, number of Pride hulls you have in your fleet. So for every Pride you have in a fleet, you gain, all boats gain, a 1500 penetrative deflection and 500 corrosive deflection. So with one Pride hull, this is what you get. With two, you double it, 3000 penetrative, 1000 corrosive, all the way up. If you use 5, you have 7500 penetrative defense, or deflection, deflection, and 2500 corrosive deflection. So for each Pride that you have, now once again, it has to be a Pride hull. These are not going to stack, with 2 Prides and 3 Vendetta. It's not going to work. If you use 2 Prides and 3 Vendetta, this is what you're going to get right here. 3000 penetrative deflection and 1000 corrosive deflection. So each hull you adds 1500 and 500 respectively. Okay? Now that we kind of understand about how the Pride works, let's see what we can do to, take advantage in any way we can defending our bases. And one of the first things that you can do is setting up hairpin turns in your base. Okay, this is just what I would consider a stair step. A stair step design. That boat is going to come in, it's going to turn, and it's going to turn. It makes 2 turns, a turn here and a turn here. Now we all know that in most cases, combat speed is faster than turn speed. So the theory behind this is, if they're running fairly close and this ship makes a turn, this following Pride will run into it, causing it to be within 25 distance units. And if that happens, it loses that special ability, that Prideful buff. It loses that line head icon. Now, one thing that we can do in our base designs is not just do a simple 2-turn setup. We can go to this one on the right here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 turns in this setup. And all I basically did, if you compare the two, I took this land tile and I moved it to here. That's all I did. I moved one land tile from this corner to here, or you can move this one to here. It creates more of a zigzag type situation where the boat has to make multiple turns in a short distance. That's one of the first things that you can do to hopefully, take some of the bite out of the Pride. Second thing you need to look at is your frontline defenses, your turrets. Now we know that explosive, if they're driven right, and we all know that these base hitters know how to drive fleets most of the time, most do. So we know that explosive is probably not going to be, that effective. If they're using 5 boats, then there's a good chance that penetrative is not going to do, not going to be that effective either. So in this picture here, I've got 2 draconian scatter guns right here. Okay, scatter gun, if they have 5, they're going to have 2,500 corrosive deflection. Hopefully with 2 draconian scattergun turrets, that will hopefully, take a bite out of the hull. Also, here's a Wendigo turret and a glacial turret. These 2 turrets, of course, produce radioactive damage. So hopefully, when these boats get in this part of the channel, these 2 turrets should fire. You get the ice fields, which will hopefully slow it up a little bit, and it also produces, of course, radioactive damage. So as far as your frontline turrets go, that is definitely an option, corrosive and radioactive. As far as your guard fleet goes, guys, Retribution, Vanquisher, either with the conflagration scatter. Oh, shoot, it's not the conflagration. That's not scattergun, but that radioactive weapon on your boat. Can't remember it off the top of my head, guys. Sorry about that. And this is the antipode. It creates a fairly decent shockwave. Either one will go right here. I personally have got on both a Retribution that's in my guard and a Vanquisher. I have the antipode on both. So now, if you're going to try to use turns or twists within your base, Judgment Mort on a Citadel or a Harlock Citadel should come in handy for you. Hopefully you can create some turns and create, kind of lessen that gap between boats. They lose that Prideful effect and take advantage of some of the explosive damage between these two. Also corrosive. Corrosive weapons, the new Rune Scattergun, Conflagration Scattergun, different things like that can go on the Valiant or the Pride itself. You can use it in your base guard. So, that to be quite honest with you guys, you're going to have to test this out. You're going to have to, if your base gets hit with a fleet of Pride Conqueror hulls, you're going to have to look at the video or the replay very carefully, find out when your turrets are firing, what kind of damage they're having, when is your guard fleet firing, are you creating a situation that your boats are, the boats that are coming in, do they have to make a lot of turns, or is it just a straight shot? Maybe you can reposition your guard a little bit, move a land tile here or there. Maybe you don't need to refit platforms. Maybe you just need to move some platforms around within your base to maybe cause some more damage. So guys, again, disclaimer here: I am no player versus player expert. Not a big base hitter, but guarding my base. These would be some of the first steps that I have taken as a player to try and hopefully create a situation where at least I'm dealing out as much damage as I'm taking as a player. Guys, I hope this helps. Leave comments. If you want to, I'll try to answer all I can. If not, hopefully someone who is a much smarter player than me can answer for you. Thanks, guys.
Hey Pirates, thanks for watching today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it helped in some way. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Brethren of the Coast. You can also join the Facebook group, Brethren of the Coast. Also look for lots of help on Battle Pirates on Battle Vortex. Please join that group as well. Thanks guys for watching.